One of the best ways you can practice your movements and your shadow swinging through a backhand, which yields tremendous results because you're processing a shot in your own time, is this. So I create myself 3 contact points by placing balls anywhere you like on the court, really. So in this case, here's my recovery, here's my home base. And then from there, I'm moving sideways, and we talked about this with the shoulders turning right away. I turn as my feet start to move, and I create a contact above this ball. So it's a full-on hit, recover back. Then I'm gonna go for the second ball over here, where I'm going to the side, positioning myself correctly, making sure contact is right, and then recovering. This also trains the precision of your movement, because if you can't do this, how are you gonna do it with a tennis ball flying at you at 50 miles an hour? So you're here, and recover. And then I'm gonna go for the deep one. So I'm gonna go left, I back up, I make contact point, I stabilize myself, I process what is my body doing, and recover. The left hand on a one-hander backhand is on the throat of the racket. And what that does is it helps you take your racket back, besides the shoulders moving to the side. But also at a higher level, what it does is it creates a pulling feeling. The racket pulls back, and then the right arm or the right hand is pulling the racket out of that slot. So you can see how I'm holding, and until I let go and I release the left hand, it creates resistance. And that creates power, because I can really feel like I'm pulling that right arm, or I'm pulling the racket from back there, and that creates power. To time the ball right, you can start your movement slowly. So you're back here, you're focusing on moving first in that prepared spot, sideways, rackets ready, you're moving. Then we create a slow beginning of the shot. You're starting to move your racket, you're starting to move your body slowly. And then you speed up more as you feel like the racket is lined up with the ball well. Racket is almost touching the racket. The ball is almost touching the racket. And that's when you create full power. You'll see pros often on TV looking like they're swinging at every single ball fully out. And that's because they are. However, they speed up the racket at various times. Sometimes that speeding up of the racket is very, very close to the ball, and it helps with timing, because we realistically don't need a ton of power coming from back here. It's a nightmare to time the ball if your racket goes from a 0 to 100, and then all of a sudden you're here, and then you're finding yourself stopping and tightening your muscles and your arm at contact, because you don't want the ball to fly too far. So what you're doing is you're going forward. We want to feel like there's slow acceleration, and then around contact, you really let it go. So there's no tightness around contact, no shock therapy at contact. And really visualize like you're playing. The more realistic you can make this in your brain and in your imagination, the better. See the ball hitting, coming from my opponent's racket. You can be here, you can be back there, depending on your level. I can do the same thing, but tossing the ball. So I'm here, I toss myself a ball forward, and I hit it. I shuffle back. Then I go for my next shot. From here, I toss it to the left. And I hit it. And I go back. This one is the most difficult, moving backwards. So toss it, move back, get behind the ball. Don't let the ball go behind you. Have some fun with this. You can be creative in working on your stroke on your own. You can shadow swing. You can use the net. The net is a perfect practice partner. You can toss yourself some balls left, right, forward, back, any way you'd like. Go through the motion in front of a mirror. It's great visual feedback. And go through it slowly. There's no rush to try and hit the ball super hard. Avoid slapping the ball. The ball is not being slapped on the one-hander backhand. You're really trying to go through the ball low to high, pulling the racket towards it nice and slow. And you're gonna find success in this. It gets better very quickly. The main challenge, and we talked about this a lot today, is contact point. So put a lot of energy into receiving that ball. How are you moving? Are you ready? Are you shoulders sideways? Is your racket prepared? Are your feet in the right place? Are you balanced? Those things are gonna give you a successful one-hander backhand. And then the technical side of things, where you're swinging through the ball, becomes so much easier. The one-hander backhand becomes a ton easier. It's a pleasure to hit. It's a beautiful shot. You're swinging through, opening your chest, squeezing your back. We didn't talk about a lot of the other additional technical factors today. However, focus on this first. Make sure this is good. And your backhand is going to become a weapon. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.